Hey everybody, we are back. I'm Vince Rocco here in New York at the Real Deal Forum, an annual event in New York City to talk about real estate. Here today on set, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, AI, as everybody knows it, ChatGPT. It's the rage. Now, as I was talking to a few people offset before, some people are afraid of it. Some people don't even understand it. Some people hesitate to want to even get involved in it. But I have to tell you something, I've been looking at it probably more seriously the past year and a half. And honestly, I don't know how we've lived without it. You have to manage it. You have to know what you're doing. But it's another tech tool, probably the best we've ever seen, that makes the most sense in real estate and in anything else that we do. It's the rage. It's the buzz. Everyone's talking about it. I don't know where we're going with it, but we're certainly going to find out. And that's all good. Justin, I want to start with you. So you had firsthand insight into the inefficiencies of current workflows in commercial real estate, in residential real estate, whatever. You also discovered that agents are kind of like, as I just said, hesitant to kind of really get involved in understanding what AI is all about for a whole host of reasons. I'm too busy, I can't learn, I don't need to know, whatever. You developed an application that's going to help them get through some of their workloads, some of their day-to-day stuff. Take us a little bit through that journey. Tell us what it is and why you developed it.
Yeah, so nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Justin Gelwicks. I could jump right into the tech, but I think it's probably a much better approach just to kind of give you the background and the story of that. Yeah. So I used to work as a commercial broker at CBRE and JLL. And while I was there, I love sales. It's what I was put on this planet to do. One day, my boss...
I love sales too.
I love sales. I'll say it till the day I die.
My middle name.
But one day...
Trained at IBM.
This was until one day when my boss came up to me and he says, Justin, I got a project for you. And I said, okay, great. He goes, I want you to sit at this desk and not get up for the next 6 months. I want you to take this list of 1,700 people that I've done business with over the last 30 years, and I want you to find their phone numbers, their emails. I want you to figure out what happened in that transaction. And then I want you to do research on all of those clients and figure out who we should reach out to try to transact again. Sit at this desk for the next 6 months and type this data in an Excel spreadsheet. And I looked at him and I said, respectfully, I think I would rather eat glass than do this. So I left my job to solve that problem. I did something crazy. I went to go get my master's in engineering from MIT, where I built out a really comprehensive team to kind of solve this issue. Building a list of every transaction you've ever done completely from scratch with no work needed, and then tracking the most important times to reach out to these people. Like, data in a spreadsheet is only so good as if you're going to use it. And so what we'll do is we'll actually tell these agents when their clients are getting promoted at their jobs, when they have a new neighbor moving on their street and how much they paid, when they're retiring, when their kids graduate, moving times. So they can stay top of mind and relevant with the most important clients in their database without them lifting a finger. It's really hard to get agents to adopt new technology, so we pretty much do all the work for them.
But yet, if you talk to agents, they're always complaining about not enough technology. We need more technology. Or this firm has better technology than whatever firm. Is what I say. Ben, but I agree with you. What does AI for real estate agents really mean in practical day-to-day business?
So I think you hit earlier on the fear factor. And practically what it does is it moves us up the work ladder. It allows us to actually be more human and spend more time in those human elements. So when you look at all the things that it's doing, like the work that Justin's doing, and now, quite honestly, and sitting from my position, I shouldn't even be the one saying it. You don't need a brokerage per se. All these tools, and there's so many to save on your admin time, to save on all those pieces where you can have a larger voice, you can be more human, and take all those other things off your plate. There's just so much now, and that's really actually the most challenging thing, is how to sort through all the noise. What is actually going to save you time for you and your workflow? What are the right tools to use and all of that? So, on the brokerage level, the brokerages, I think, provide different things. But if a brokerage is trying to keep up with everything in AI, I think that's a losing battle. I think you want to help support some of the players who are coming in and empower your agents and tools and get them in the right mindset about that. But trying to be the leader in that is like, Justin's going to run circles around us all day. So we want to be able to partner with folks like that.
Yeah. Teresa, where are agents already seeing the biggest impact from AI, like right now, in the immediate? I mean, we have a long way to go, but right now, what's the impact that they're seeing currently?
I think there are two different ways that I'm seeing AI impact our business, both at the brokerage level and at the agent level. One is one of my favorite phrases, delegate and elevate, right? So that's a little bit of what Ben was talking about, right? What are the things that you don't need to spend your time doing? What makes life a little bit easier, saves you time? Somebody today was talking about Superhuman for email that helps, cuts their email time dramatically so they can spend more time on phone calls with clients. The other thing I think it does is it lets you do things that before you just could not have done. It's a little bit like what Justin's talking about. You can't go through 1,700 contacts. But if you have a CRM that's supported by AI that lets you know who are the 10 people, the 20 people you need to reach out to today, it auto drafts text, emails, whatever it may be, based on past phone calls. You can then edit it to make sure that it is in your voice, sounds human, etc. But now it's something that's actually allowing you to do way more things that you would have than you would have been able to do before. I think those are the two big ways. We're seeing that with CRMs. We're seeing it with Notetakers. One thing that's really standing out to me, too, we talk about whether or not the agents will use the technology. AI is not technology onboarding in the way that we've thought of it in the past. Like when we had to onboard people onto a new CRM 5 years ago, that was an enormous lift, right? Now, if you're using a piece of technology, I mentioned Notetakers before, there are a million of them out there that you can use. You just test it until you test one that feels easy, right? That works into your, like the user experience with AI, there is no onboarding. You turn it on, you go on the site, you go to the app, whatever it is, and if you don't know exactly what to do just by being there, then it's not the best version, right? So I think that's one of the really exciting things about AI is that it's not every time there's a new product, you have to learn a whole new system. It really makes it easy to learn the product if it's a good one.
And Justin, the overall, process or transaction process that we as agents go through, okay? What do you think is going to be the most likely automated first over the next couple of years? What part of the process sort of will go first?
I think
in the new direction of AI or whatever.
So I think the thing that I love to say is that AI is only as good as the data that you feed it.
Yeah.
And there are two kind of buckets that you could place AI in right now. And in real estate, we're really lagging behind in the first bucket. And we're talking a lot about Superhuman or using ChatGPT or using Claude. And everybody's doing that. Everybody can rewrite emails. Everybody can polish up their wording using these tools. But that's not using AI for real estate. That's just using the tools that are in the market that any human would use for non-real estate specific tasks. The second bucket would be real estate specific purpose-built AI. And the reason why we're lagging so far behind in real estate is because there's so little data to support real estate oriented tools. And so because of that, the way that I think of this is you want to provide data with this AI. So we are pretty much a data company that provides good information and context. AI is only as good as the context that you feed it. And if you feed it more context around what you're doing, more parts of your job are going to be automated. So if you look at the parts of the transaction process that are really easy to automate, the first that we're going to see is probably transaction management. We're already working on stuff with that internally. Things like the broker review process, things that can be done entirely remote. The client-facing things are going to be the hardest stuff.
Yeah.
And so AI should not remove the human layer whatsoever. People talk about personalization in AI, and that's dumb. AI should basically give you the data to make better decisions. No, it is. It's dumb. I think so. And how many times have you gotten on LinkedIn people saying, hey, so good to meet you. I saw you did this, this, and this. And it's clearly spam and it's not even targeted right for you.
I get so many solicitations on that stuff.
And so like you're losing a layer of personality there.
Yeah.
And so what I think is going to be the trend and the things that get automated first are going to be the transaction management side of things. I think within 2 years, we're going to see a big leap forward in marketing materials, specifically short form video content, because agents will take the time to make that because it's required to get leads in the door. And it's really easy to throw a bunch of photos in and some text and some info on the property and get really great content. And that's moving super, super fast. And then the enterprise level tools that are going to completely change the industry, those are going to come later. But you know what we're trying to be is those enterprise level tools that hand these brokerages the data to leverage the full compatibility of AI with that context. Well, that's what we're trying to do.
Not to chime in, but one of the things I see with that, right, is because what a lot of agents, and myself included right now, are doing, because all these tools are so accessible, you can start building out, you know, different things to help with your process or your team with Claude. I use Perplexity Computer, like, you know, all these different things. But once you start getting down the rabbit hole, you realize like sometimes it's hard to get the right data sources, or if you want tons of data sources, it's going to start costing you a lot of money, you know, every month, even if you're building it out for yourself. Because, and I think a lot of people are at this juncture right now where it's like, well, I could just do it. So why do I need to do this? And we're kind of in this like figuring out, you know, phase with all that type of stuff and getting the best data so we could get to that thing for the process. And all that.
You know, in any period that I've been in the real estate business, it really always comes down to data. Access to data, accurate data, you know, enough data, etc. Ben, following on that, though, what you guys just said, how can agents, you know, better use AI to improve client communication, you know, without losing, you know, authenticity? Because as you said, I think before, you know, it's one thing that we use it for what we need it for, but we're also interfacing with our clients, right?
Yeah.
But we don't want to lose authenticity.
So
we want to be real.
We had a great like AI, you know, summit internally, you know, recently, which was great. And I actually, you know, learned something new, is that you can have like a human badge now. I don't know if you guys know about that.
I've heard about that. Yeah. I don't necessarily know what it is, but I've heard about it.
I don't know either, but like, I kind of like that idea. Like, I mean,
I promise.
At the very basic level, you could always just put that on your emails if you handwrite everything. But in all seriousness, with, you know, maybe you want to do that. I think the biggest difference there's a couple ways I see agents using AI well and poorly.
Right.
And using it well on client communication is you write it first. You have your voice. You give very specific, you know, prompting on what you are trying to accomplish, like in this, you know, communication. And then you have, you know, your voice smoothed out, refined. It sounds a lot better. Agents, I think, have a lot of success with that. If you just try and outsource the full thing to AI, it lands very flat. You know, I also tell all my AI engines, like, remove all the hyphens, please. Like,
no more M dashes.
I was like, stop with those slash marks everywhere.
It just replaces them with commas.
Yeah, I was like, it's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, obviously little things like that. But so if you take the time and effort, and it's the same thing Justin was saying, where it's good data in. If you put bad stuff in where you're just trying to offload everything, garbage in, garbage out. And the other thing is proper prompting, I think, with all of this, right? And really what I'm seeing and working with a lot of agents is knowing and understand, you know, how to prompt. Some of that is a mindset. Some of that is like, hey, just ask the engine to help you with it, you know, as well. Yep. And I start to see agents really turn the corner when they see the difference in some of that. And then the output that comes out of it, you know, for them. So those are kind of like, I think, the two biggest like practical things there.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We're coming right back after these messages from our sponsors. This is Talking New York Real Estate live at the Real Deal Forum. Don't go anywhere.
From a client's perspective, move day is when the transaction becomes real. It's the moment when everything that happened during the deal finally turns into a lived experience. That's why experienced agents treat the move as part of the transaction, not an afterthought. The right moving partner helps ensure that the final step reflects the same professionalism as the transaction itself. Roadway supports agents with the infrastructure, coordination, and accountability required to execute it properly. Roadway Moving and Storage supporting agents through seamless white glove moves.
From residential and commercial closings to litigation, Romer DeBoss is your full-service real estate law firm. We blend big firm knowledge with boutique-level attention, delivering outcomes that exceed every expectation. Contact us at romerdeboss.com.
Okay, we're coming back. We're right there.
Right there. Thank you, sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Thank God for technology, right?
I'm here.
Teresa. He cracks me up.
I always have fun on set.
Yeah. Teresa, so is AI making the newer agents who are attempting to use it, more competitive and faster than ever? If you want to look at comparing to some of the older agents out there who, as we said before with Justin, really don't want to be involved. So newer guys and gals coming in, adopting it right away. Is it making them more competitive, you think?
Oh,
I think it is one way. It's really shortening the onboarding process in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, there are just so many different kinds of AI out there. We have a program that we use. The machine's been trained over 2 years with like 3 million hours of sales calls. You do a call, it records the call, it gives you a score of 1 to 5, how your call was. It says, Vince, here are 3 things you did really well. Here's why. Then it says, Vince, you said this. You might try saying this instead. Here's why. And it gives you the score. It tells you how much of your talk was positive, how much negative, how much neutral. And then here's the gold. It says, Vince, would you like to try that call again? Can you imagine? We can have our agents do these case studies on past calls until they get to 4s and 5s, which are the top scores, before they ever talk to a client. Can you imagine having that, not just the knowledge that comes from that, but the confidence of, I do 5-star sales calls, right? That is a big difference from having to figure it out
100%.
As you go, right? So that's just one example of things that I think are making it easier to start now. We know there are a lot of challenges right now in starting, but as far as how AI is helping, I think it's really shortening the onboarding ramp.
I agree. Justin, following that, do you think if agents don't get involved or participate, they're going to get lost in the dust, lost in the crowd with, hey, the world is moving forward, technology is moving forward, where the heck are you, right?
No, I do not think that they're going to get left in the dust.
Okay.
And here's the example that I'll give. Like, you could be a super accomplished broker, and let's say you're in your 60s. It's going to piss you off when that 30-year-old broker is starting to blow past you because they've automated a lot of the different processes.
Absolutely.
And you take that person, and that's probably the ideal profile of somebody who wouldn't adopt something like what we're doing. But for that person, the way that they'll never be left in the dust. They're never going to be homeless. Like, they can keep working harder to chase more deals.
Right.
But the thing is they're sitting on a client
because they
list.
already have their established way of doing
Yeah, they already
things.
have their established way of doing it, but they're working just as hard. When you spent 20, 30 years building a client list and you don't maintain that, you're working 5 times harder to get those clients. 2/3 of all deals in real estate come from past clients and referrals. Like, if you're not touching base with them, if you're not saying, hey, congrats on the promotion, if you're not giving them updates on their property, if you're not staying top of mind and relevant, you're leaving a ton of money on the table that's super easy to get. Like, the top brokers understand that leveraging their network later on is just an easy way to coast and just stay involved with real estate literally until they die, because it's so easy to make money on those repeat deals if they find a way to nurture their database. And the best brokers have either assistants that do that or have found out ways to kind of automate that. And so what we're trying to do is make it easy for all of those, let's say those aging brokers, to leverage that database easier so you don't have to work as hard. So I don't think that they'll be left in the dust, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to work 3 times harder than you would have to if you're not leveraging tools like ours.
What if I could just jump in, because on one of your comments there, I kind of, as all this was coming out, I had the same sort of thought process and philosophy. But I will tell you what, there is no time like the present that we are in where a broker who hasn't done anything, who hasn't adopted anything, can go. We had one of our top agents who went to one of our first AI summits last fall, and she was on our panel last week and she started using it after that panel. The amount of speed that now people who've never adapted, but they have that network, can now get up and running with all this technology. The exponential difference that it can make in those existing broker businesses is incredible. So I think if you're scared of it, you haven't touched it, like that's okay, because there is no better time than the time we are living in right now for you to get up to speed quicker than you ever could before. And it is really cool to see some of those brokers adapt to it.
And I do want to add on to that, because he brings up a really good point that a lot of agents aren't even using like Claude or ChatGPT to even like polish up their emails. And so they're spending 5 times as much time just communicating with people. And so the surface level AI, like the using that to prompt messages to make or polish up their work, I think that everybody should be doing that. Like, you're going to get left in the dust if you're not doing that, because it just makes you so much more efficient. I'm kind of more talking about the stage 2 that we're kind of referencing before.
Based on this, from both, how should the experienced agent really think about AI differently than the newer agent, right? The newer agent maybe, as these guys are suggesting, adopting it a lot sooner, maybe earlier. But the older agent's going to say, as he said before, I'm already established. I already know what I'm doing. I already got my book of business. Why?
I think the question
is that even a concern on their part?
I don't know if it's a concern for them. The reason to me from the outside why it would be wildly beneficial would be to have more fun and enjoy my life more. To get 50% of my day back, right? Like, if you have worked 100%. This hard, which, to spend 20, 30 years in the business building up your business, right? And to still be hustling and, how are you keeping track of who to reach out to next? There is an easier way, I promise you, right? AI can save hours in your day now. And maybe you don't need to make more money. Maybe you don't want to close more deals and you're happy with your business, but I bet you would love to have half your day back, right? I would.
Well, and I think the way that they get over that hump, or I've seen people, is like, even if it's something in your personal life, do something that's novel, that might be fun or funny, that you're curious about. And once they start seeing like different things, then all of a sudden the ideas for some of this other stuff also like just open up.
That's the thing. Sorry to interrupt, Vince, but like going back to what I was saying before, it doesn't have to be hard.
No.
A lot of these apps are wildly intuitive. And so if you do what Ben says and you go around and you're like, try this thing, try that thing, you start to get a feel for how AI works in general, and then you're less intimidated to try something new and different. Some are going to work for you, some are not. If you don't like using it, it doesn't work, move on to the next.
We got to take another quick break. We're coming right back on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Dylan Pachulik, CEO of XL Real Property Management, New York's most trusted name in luxury property management since 2012. We specialize in managing individual apartments, townhouses, and rental buildings held by absentee owners. We maintain our properties with the highest standards of quality and service so that owners can choose a hassle-free approach to real estate investing. Rented or owner-occupied, we handle it all. For more information, contact us at xl-rpm.com.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
And we are back. So, my question to Ben. I come from an IBM background. I think everybody in the world knows that because they talk about it all the time. I'm a tech-interested person. I grew up with technology on the front end of email.
They call him Mr. IBM.
Mr. IBM. And all of those things. I mean, I can go back to wearing a beeper before we had those devices in our hand. My point there is, I might be in the business a long time, but I'm very aware and astute of what technology and now AI can do for us, right? And Justin and I were talking a little off before the show started about pricing. Ben, question to you. Can AI realistically help agents with pricing strategy and marketing forecasting? or not?
Woo! This is a spicy one.
That's heavy.
This is spicy. Yeah.
We already chatted about it.
Yeah. So it's not even so much whether the agent could do it. I think you have to be aware as an agent right now that your client is going to be going there, and you need to address this from the first conversation with them and actually have a relationship where you're all working together with it, and have that data conversation where it's only going to be as good as the data, you pick out. Great example, does AI know that doorman is a jerk who's on the overnight staff? And when people walk through the door, we show it that people are turned off, and that's going to hurt the value. No. Does it know that the hallways, look like my grandmother's, so-and-so, and that, it reeks like Indian 2 times a week and most people are just not going to like the smell of, like all these different things are intangibles that maybe the systems will get better and better at over time. But you also need that agent's data to be coming in, working with the model to then actually get you much better outputs. And it, again, will save you time. So there's a lot of aspects that it can help you. It can help save the time, but it's bad at getting things off of like the RLS and closed data and what things it picks out. And we see way, way more, mistakes. But again, the agents who are using it well are actually pre-picking out the data, telling it exactly where to put in, what they're putting in. So again, if you outsource it at the start to it, you are going to have a very bad outcome. If you spend more time curating and with good data and giving it those proper prompting, it will help a lot. And oh, by the way, have a relationship with your client with it, because otherwise it's just going to be a massive objection throughout the process.
100%. And Justin and I were talking about this also before the show. I have a buyer coming up next week, and he's so excited about coming to New York and buying something, and he's done it before with me. And he announced to me the other day on the phone, and you know what? I've been on ChatGPT, and I've been searching for apartments in a particular neighborhood, and I'm like, no. Street Easy is one thing. Ask Vince, please.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
But here's what I would say is,
done it, so I don't really know.
Yeah, and don't. As an agent right now, we all have that exact same reaction you have.
Right.
But I think we need to shift to even though we feel that, we say, great, I'm so happy that you're using ChatGPT. And now you have the power of Vince that you can feed your ChatGPT, and we can all work together to get you to a much better place. So it's not but either or, it's an and both. Yes.
But initially it was a shock. Like, what?
What?
So
No.
So you've seen here that it's interesting. ChatGPT just signed partnerships with Zillow and Realtor for individual users.
Yes.
So for prospecting, if they bring you a property that they found on GPT, sure, you can use that, and then you can make your CMA, and great.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't run very well, and it's not available available for enterprise subscriptions. So you can't onboard that as an agent or as a brokerage, and it doesn't do a good job of pulling lots and lots of properties. So it definitely struggles with that.
No, you're absolutely right. Teresa, what role will AI play in lead generation and identifying future sellers or buyers for us? We touched on it a little bit, all of you, but how can we use it to, kind of identify who maybe we want to work with on a buy side or a sell side?
You mean for finding clients?
Finding clients.
So
or can we?
We've partnered with a company that tangential to what Justin does, but it's really just more about relationship building in general. And it does, the founder, his name is David Friedman. He founded WealthX, sold that. He's working on his next iteration of it. It's all about relationship mapping, right? And really getting to know your clients. So talk about elevating the experience, right? It gives you a reason that to me, it's less about identifying the client and more about enhancing the relationships that you have. But it does also map people. So if there is someone that you want to meet, you can look at the different ways of what are they involved in, what are they, what are their interests, what are ways that you can get to know them. For your current clients, it sounds a little big brotherish, but it's nothing different from what we already have, right? The data is out there. People are posting on social media. They got a promotion, right? That's on LinkedIn. It's all out there. It's telling you what you need to know, when you need to know it just for your clients. I don't know about you, but the number of social media posts I see in a 3-minute period is a ton, right? Whereas if you're working with a system like this one or a system like Justin's, it's alerting you when someone you've identified as important to your business has a significant update. So that turns people in my sphere into clients, right? And because I strengthen those relationships as I go along, because I have more pertinent information in the moment that gives me strong quality reasons to reach out versus, hey, happy holidays from your real estate agent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We hate those emails.
All right, listen, this is worth an hour, but we only have a minute left. So they're all going to come back and do this again live in my studio next time when we have more time. But closing thought, Ben, last thought about AI in general.
Have fun with it. Be empowered to save yourself time, do more, help more people, and really just treat it as a novel thing right now.
Teresa?
I don't think I can do better than that.
I
Don't
agree.
be afraid. Don't be
Don't be afraid.
And,
Love it.
You're most people listening to this are at a brokerage, and hopefully your brokerage is doing something to help weed out the options. So lean on the people around you. What are you using that's working for you? I've tried these. I've tried those. No, you really must try this one. So lean on the people around you to make your search process a little more efficient, but so that you can do what Ben's talking about and just have fun trying some things.
Justin?
Look for tools that do the work for you.
Yes.
Don't look for tools where you have to learn a new platform or do extra work, because you're not going to do that. You know, we invested a lot of time into building something that does the work for you so that you have a really easy starting point. I think that starting out by using, ChatGPT or Claude, obviously do that. That's a no-brainer. But for real estate specific tools, look for things that do the work for you rather than a new platform to learn.
Okay, with all that said, we're done. They will all come back again. Like I said, it's a show that's worthy of an hour. This is Talking New York Real Estate. This is the the Real Deal New York City Forum. And we will see you soon. Thank you.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business. And it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.